Hi guys, how are you? Give me one moment. All right, you guys. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm gonna do a test really quickly. Sorry, my thing. We're gonna do a test really quickly to see if you guys can hear me. I had to go fix the internet. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, y'all. I am so sorry. I know I keep saying this lately. Yesterday I got home from work and I went to go take a nap and the nap turned to sleep. You guys, let me get my lipstick, y'all. Hold on. Hi guys, sorry. I got too much going on. Y'all, you guys would just have to bear with me because there's a lot going on for me. I got too much going on in one life of mine. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. I just want to say sorry. This one is not even like a laughing matter. It's just because I laugh with everything. So it might come off like I'm laughing, but seriously, I'm so sorry, y'all. I work like 2 days straight without sleeping, and then I had to go cover up. I know you guys are tired hearing this, but literally that's what happened. And yesterday when I got home around 1 p.m., I'm like, let me just lay down and take a nap, and I wake up for the show. And here I am. I slept, y'all. I did not wake up, and I had an alarm set and everything. I slept through that alarm, and nobody woke me up. Nobody woke me up because I was so tired. So I went to sleep, and I didn't wake up till like 8:30. When I woke up at 8:30, I was like, "Yeah, I agree." I thought it was in the morning, and then my husband's like, "You didn't tell me to wake you up, so we just let you sleep because you haven't slept." So again, super sorry to y'all. I know, you guys are tired with my sorry, but it's the God truth that I'm telling you. I overslept. I had literally planned on coming live. I went to sleep at 1:30 and then wake back up to 8 something. It was almost 9 o'clock. And I had three things I needed to do yesterday. I needed to go to a funeral. And then I needed to go to my ladies group that I'm part of. You guys, I made it to the lady group, but I couldn't make it to the funeral thing because I slept throughout. And then I miss here. I miss you guys. But anyways, let me go and listen and see if you guys can hear me. Um, let's just see. Let's see. Can y'all hear me? Can you keep up, baby boy? I'm gonna lose my breath. That song been in my head. Ooh, can you keep up? If you are a 90s babies, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Ooh, can you keep up? If you are a 90s Okay, you guys, we are audible today. Y'all can hear us. This is good. Lower the volume now. That's very good. All right, y'all. Welcome to Let's Talk on Miss Fee. My name is Felicia. Today we are continuing our topic that we could not cover last week Sunday. So we're going to cover that today. How you doing? Y'all ready for this election? Who's you voting for? Don't mind me. Don't answer that question. Do not answer that question on here. Don't tell me who you're voting for. I don't care. I don't want to know. Vote for a reason. That's all I'm going to tell you. When you're voting, vote for a reason. Don't vote for, well, I can't really tell you for stupid reason because your reason might be valid for you. But vote because you truly care about what the country is going to look like. Vote because you know you have to. If I'm being honest, I really don't know um, which of these candidates I should cast my vote for. I know I shouldn't talk about politics on here, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit. We all live here. We are all going through almost the same thing. And we all need to be able to talk about these things. So I don't know. I really don't know who I should or I will cast my vote for. I don't know yet, but we'll see. Welcome to Let's Talk with Miss Fee. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I hope my microphone is audible and it's working. Some days my microphone acts funny and it doesn't work. I do have a brand new one that I should start using, but I haven't started using it yet, and we will see. Um, Let me pin the link in the comment section, and then let me share the show so we can get started. My happiness concern me. You guys, let me just say, there's so much going on social media. It's just crazy. The amount of things that the human eye gets to see on social media, it's overwhelming. Um, let's share. Sharing is caring. All right, so I pinned a link in the comment section. Now let's share the show. Let's share the show. Remember, sharing is caring, y'all. If you share, you care about me. So let me put it to my ladies group first. Oh Lord. Your girl is live. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your brothers, tell your sister, tell everybody that this Miss Fifi is live. We are coming live from the DMV, y'all. The DMV, if you didn't know, is Maryland, DC, and Virginia. So, what is something that you guys like to cook on Sunday? What's something you guys like? So, let's talk about this. You guys, I need you guys to leave a review for this podcast. Like, go and leave me reviews. Let me be very reputable. Am I? I don't know yet. Let's see. You guys, I'm cooking, so let me go get my soup out of that thing. So someone told me the other day, is like, you better getting fat these days. Yeah, you guys. When I'm on a busy, I tend to gain weight. That's what I'm noticing. Since I have my kids, that's what always happens. But don't mind me. I can lose my weight in a blink of an eye. I'm not worried about it. I'm back. So ask me what I'm cooking. I need to burn some of your heart with this food I'm cooking. It's I'm making some what the thing called pumpkin stew. I always cook those in October because October is when you do all the pumpkin thing. So I make those, making pumpkin gravy. I don't know. I think we eat that once a year. That's what I'm making. And I mix, my kids like the red kidney beans. So I like to make it on the side. So just in case whatever I cook, they don't eat it, I always have something else. So I made them some fried kidney beans today. And I don't cook every day. So they're going to be eating kobo for the rest of the week. And then, of course, I have some steamed veggies and stuff for them. They have other stuff they can eat. But you guys, I'm sharing the show now. My husband already warned me I should only be on here for an hour. So let's see how we can get started. You guys invite your friends, your mama, your sister, your uncle, your brother, your sister, your auntie, your grandma, your grandpa. Don't I'm being silly. Invite everybody. Tell them Fifi is live, you know. Tell them the only show without any drama is live. Oh, Lord. Tell them Fidi Fidi is live. Tell them she talking about the drama thing here again. No drama, oh. No drama. We are drama free zone here. Please. I can't function in such environments. I'm thriving right now. So, you guys, I feel so rested. I slept for 2 days. If y'all just joining, I want to apologize publicly. I have been on my grind. I'm trying to reach certain goal before the year end, and you guys, it's killing me. So I have so much going on. But let's just say I slept yesterday. When I got home, I was taking a nap. It was like, when did I get home? Like 1:30 ish. And I went to go take a nap, and boom, here I am. I slept till 8:30. And when I woke up, I looked at the time. I jumped actually. I was like, oh my god, I have my show. And then I looked at the time, I was like, it's 8 p.m. Yeah, let me go back to sleep. I went back to sleep, y'all. Y'all ain't gonna kill me. You guys don't care about me like that, so I'm gonna have to sleep if I gotta sleep. Yeah, y'all don't care. The people there don't care. Y'all come on, y'all come and see. Come and see what the Lord has done. Come. That song has been in my head all day. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Come and see, oh, come and see. Come and see what the Lord has done. Come and see what the Lord has done. Yeah, y'all. So, like I said, I'm so sorry. I have a goal that I want to reach this before the year end. We got what? 2 more month left. Well, barely. We got 2 months left, and I have to hit those goals before I can check them off my list for the year. But so that means I have to sacrifice time with you guys. But welcome to the show. Today we're talking about, last week we talked about how the church should the church embrace um same-sex marriage, and we talked about this last year. I mean, last year, yeah, last week in depth, where we said the church may decide. I don't think the church should officiate or entertain same-sex marriage, but I do think they should be allowed to come to church. You may not support it, but they can come to church as a couple or as individual, however way they want to attend church. You cannot ban them from church. Um, you guys, what is going on? StreamYard just did something that I don't like. What is this? Can you guys hear me though? This is ridiculous. So, what is that? Something on my face. But can you guys let me see something? Yeah. When they be taking my money from this stupid StreamYard, they don't be acting crazy. But when I'm live, this is when they do all this crazy stuff. I'm getting upset. Oh my god. Am I live on here? Okay. Okay, I'm still live on my other page. It's good. I was about to be upset because I saw a link that popped up on the show, and that just annoyed me. I'm so sorry. That annoyed me. I was getting annoyed for a second. But like I said, today we're talking about the advisable approach to a family that is being told or just discover that their child is practicing same-sex marriage or same-sex what are the advice you guys? I'm so sorry. I'm trying to check my stream yet, make sure they don't kick me out. If you can hear me, please put your thumbs up and put like a comment, leave a comment, type what you're watching from. Welcome to the show. I'm gonna get started. I gotta be out of here no later than 7:30. Right now it is 6:27 Eastern Standard Time. So let's jump into it. Last week, Saturday, Sunday we couldn't have the show because I had the same network issue. And now like I don't know what StreamYard is doing, but their platform been really getting on my nerves. Anyways, last week we talked about if the church should accept, same-sex marriage or, should they embrace the idea of it and actually, they're a member of this church. Should the church actually say, yeah, come to church, we will perform your marriage ceremony? I don't think so. I don't believe in that. I don't think the church should because one is against what the Bible says about, same-sex marriages. But I do think they should come to church. The church should embrace them to come worship with them. Why? Because one, that's what Christ will do. I don't think Christ will say, "Yeah, let me officiate your wedding," but I think Christ, Jesus Christ, to be specific, will show compassion and will bring them to Christ and will try to win them over to Christ. So why not? At least you don't have to go out there and look for them. I think the church should actually to bring them in because everything and anything is happening to me today. But I think the church should be able to do that. This hair is oh, mess. I need to do my hair. Oh god. But anyways, let's stay focused. This is distracting. I think the church should be able to accept them, bring them to church. This is what we discussed. You guys, this is just a recap from last week. Sunday, we couldn't discuss this part of the topic because we had network issue. So today, I am really praying to all my ancestors and God to really allow me to have this topic discussed because it's very, very important. Um, so let's go to today's topic. It's talking about family. What is the best approach? You guys, I will tell you, I have a friend of mine, well, a colleague now, that came out. Hello, Jimmy.
Hello, Fee.
Oh, you can hear me good today. That's good.
Yeah.
So as Jimmy is settling in, what I was saying is I had a colleague of mine, and I remember we kind of like thought he was, but you can't just you can't put people out when they're not out. So he confided in. Actually, I was one of those people that he confided in, and he was just saying, if I was to tell you, I know you're very these are his words, not mine. He said, I know you're a very strong believer, and there's something I want to tell you, and I'm not sure if you will still want to be friends with me. And I said, what do you mean? I'm not friends with you with conditions. I'm friends with you because I think we share almost similar values. If those values have gone across, and we can't be, then we can communicate, but maybe we won't be as close as we should be, right? So, but anyways, he came out and he said he felt comfortable telling me. I mean, to be honest, I felt really good that he felt comfortable to talk to me about it instead of him like hiding it and going through whatever it is people go through when they're trying to discuss these things with their friends or family members. So when he told me, he said, I'm actually gay. I said, I'm not surprised. Those were my words. He's like, you knew? I said, yes. I had my own suspicion, but I couldn't tell you that. And I said, "What makes you want to pick that lifestyle?" And he told me all of whatever it is he told me. But I'm just saying, like for me, it was easier because I kind of expected it. But I'm just thinking about a family member. Um, you know, Let me just put myself in that shoe as a mom. Just thinking about the fact that we have kids, and when they're baby, when you go for the gender, when the doctor is scanning you and telling you you're having a boy, the first thing you're thinking about, "Ooh, I'm gonna get him the cutest suits." And you guys, I'm so sorry, that is my they're buzzing me. But you're thinking about all this. You're already thinking about blue because you're color coding. And then they tell you as a girl, you're thinking about pink and all this other color that is associated with girls based on societal, expectation. And then you raise this individual to be who you expect and it is. And then they come to you and break the news to you: "I'm not what you say I am. I'm something else." That's what I want us to discuss today. What is your approach? How do you go about it? Because you have to think about it. It takes a lot of courage for someone to stand in front of you and tell you the truth. So before we go into that, let's introduce Jimmy to the show. What's up? Welcome.
Thank you, C.
Hi, how
And
are you?
welcome to all of our viewers and our and my co-panelists who will be joining. So, uh, I think it's an interesting topic tonight. A topic most people don't like to discuss,
Yeah.
but we're here tonight to discuss it so that um,
You have a guess.
give me 1 minute.
Sure, go ahead. Um, you guys until Jimmy return. Yeah, this is a topic that, like you said,
Uh,
this is a topic that most people don't want to, it's not popular demand. I think when I started this podcast, I told you guys, I like to stand out. I like to be different in whatever way possible. I like to talk about uncomfortable things, things that people don't want to discuss, things that are not interesting to the public. But I mean, when I say public, things that most people shy away from because they're afraid of stepping on toes or, making somebody feel uncomfortable. But I think it's important when you talk about uncomfortable things because it makes you to figure out how to live your life. Go ahead, Jimmy. Sorry.
yeah, so as I was saying before I got interrupted, this is a topic many people don't like to discuss, but I believe it is worth discussing because the more we discuss it, the more we see how we can live with those people and how we can help them, not think less of themselves, and how we also as Christian, how we can, live according to what we are called to live. So thank you for having me on here today.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. So I just wanted to start with have have you ever had a friend or anybody come to you that you suspected and they actually came back and they say, yeah, they are? Do you know anyone? I'm
Oh,
just trying to get some type of personal connection to this topic.
so I've had many people, but not friends.
Okay.
Yeah, co-workers. Um, that we work together, and there were specific tasks that they were supposed to be performing, and they say, "Oh, I can't do this because of XYZ." I say, "Okay, get me a doctor, you know, a doctor note that say you can perform XYZ."
Mm.
And some of them, it was at that point. they broke in to say, "Oh, I am this, and if I do this, I feel like this is happening to me." So yeah, but
Wow.
but family wise, I've not, directly. I've not have any family member of mine directly involved, but I've have a
Right.
family member of friends who have been, or who are involved currently, and I know how they are struggling. So I think I'm in some position to talk about this because I have people who I associate with that are dealing with such a people right now.
Gotcha. This is a very sensitive, but like you said, and I agree, is we're talking about. I think it has such a stigma that in our community we don't want to associate with it. Every time it comes up, people just say, God forbid, I will burn the person, I will do this. But I mean, realistically, let's just, sit and just think about it. Um, in my opinion, and I think there are many research on this, that it is psychological, and it can really cause a lot of damage to a person. In my opinion, looking at it from a Christian lens, it's seen as a spirit that catch someone, it's some type of spiritual stuff, right? And if a person can't handle it, and then they're dealing with it, it is, I feel like, in my opinion, as a family member or as like a friend or anyone, it is your responsibility to make sure that people are comfortable enough to talk about it, and then you can figure out if you feel like you're able to help solve that problem, that get to the bottom of it, what happened. A lot of men that I have talked to, that I know have gone through this, is because, one, they choose that lifestyle because it's what they're used to from a childhood. They were molested by someone, or it goes deeper than just someone just saying, I like this person, and then when you hear most people say love is love, just accept it. Love is love. Yeah, love is love, but there's an underlying issue to it, and I feel like our community, if we talk about it more, we become aware and we understand what happened with it. I think we will be more accepting of the person, not their behavior or whatever their lifestyle is, but we will understand and have more compassion on them and be loving and caring as if they were, in a monogamous relationship. So, like it says, what do you think is the best approach if a child or, an adult person finally build that courage? Because it has to take a lot, especially as not your culture norm, it's not your family norm, and somebody got up and said, "No, I want to be who I want to be. I want to live my truth, and I want to tell you this is the type of lifestyle I've chosen. This is how I want to be." And whatever it is, without you judging them, or what do you think is the initial right approach for a family? I want us to look at it from a family, because it's a little bit tough for family to really accept it. I can understand friends, you can choose different friends and things like that, but you can't choose another family. I know people say that, you will always be part of that family that you're from. You represent them in every way that you chooses, So I just want to hear from you. What do you think? Like, how should a family member who is a Christian, I'm looking at this from a Christian because I am a Christian and I'm trying to see how I will look at it. How would they feel about it? How do you think is the best approach?
Okay. First of all, most Christians we first distance themselves from that person, which I believe is the wrong approach.
Right.
Because if you distance yourself from the person, you're making them to feel, isolated. You're making them to, feel like they They are deserted. They're no longer part of the family. So that that isolation approach, or distancing approach that most people, especially Christian, will use, I think is completely wrong. The best thing to do as a Christian whose family member is involved is to first bring the person close, bring them close, have a family interview with them, get to know how they got to that place, you know, and make them understand that, you understand what they are, how they feel about what they are into or about to get into, let them know, they let them understand that it is not a will of God for their life. Because if this person is from a Christian family, I believe they have some knowledge of God. They have some knowledge of the Bible, what the Bible says about it. So bring them to counseling in the Word of God. And don't start there. You should pray for them. You should pray for them and make them feel that, life can be better if they remain who they are, instead of, changing their real, their identity to be who they are not. So I would say bring them close, don't distance yourself from them, which is the wrong approach most Christians will take. And another thing is,
Mhm.
sometimes the conversation that we have as Christians, the conversation that we have about this topic will make people who are even, involved, to come to us publicly, to come to us and tell us who they really are. If all you say about such a people, are negatives, I call it, trust me, somebody who is involved and is really close to you, even your own child will not be open to have such conversation with you. You see, so you have to create a level playing field where somebody will be comfortable to talk to you about it. And if you do that, they will give you that attention, and you might not know, but God will just use you to transform that person because of how you approach them. So you have to approach them positively. You have to first understand their condition, because you do not know what drove them into that. Okay, but the only way you can know is to first welcome them, have a interview with them, one-on-one conversation, asking them questions, how they got there, because some people got there because of frustration from from opposite sex, or their previous relationship. Some people got there because they were molested, from way down the line, and they see that as a normal life. Okay, but you can only get those information out of them if you welcome them and not distance yourself from them. So as a Christian, you provide counseling, for them in the Word of God, pray for them and not to distance yourself from them.
Right. Thank you so much for that. Really, really like that. Let me just pull out my note here. So it's like we say, it's really difficult when I'm gonna look at it from a mom perspective, right?
Mhm.
As a mom, you guys, I know I was about to do the African thing saying, God forbid my son don't be that, you know. I
Mhm.
have to say that. But let's just say my child came to me and said, Mom, I understand what you believe, and I believe the same thing. But this is how I feel, and this is what I've chosen, right? I've choose to be with the same gender. Um, of course, that's a punch in the gut. I see a message. Oh, I just sent it to her. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. In my opinion, that would be a punch to the gut. I would be very angry. I would be sad. I would be all the feelings you can feel in the world. But I think what I need to also understand is how does that individual feels. I think one thing that we don't think about is that we are all going to give account of ourselves on that day. We can't prevent people from sinning, and all you can do is encourage them to make that decision. So, is it the only sin? No. But is one of the greatest sin, in my opinion. Um, I don't know how we're measuring sin, but I'm just basing that on based on my understanding of what the Bible says about that lifestyle. So, I think the first thing I need to consider is I think most family feels like, where did I go wrong? What did I do? And I want people to know that it's not what you did or what you did wrong. Um, it's it's like your child choosing to go be a doctor, right? And they just choose this other lifestyle based on their emotion and what they're drawn to. And I just want family to know that it's a spirit. And if that spirit have gotten on your child, what do? You pray. If you want that to turn around, like Jimmy said, you have to pray and you need to show them the the love and respect that they deserve as an individual. I think the first thing to do instead of you getting your whole emotion across is to listen. Just be quiet and listen. Listen to the full thing. How did we get here? What happened? Um what makes you think this is the lifestyle you need and want? Or in the future, how do you see your family? What did you expect? How do you understand family life? What do you expect and want out of a family when you get that? I think listening and expressing your support is a great way to start to ease it. Instead of having that tension and saying, "Oh, I disown you. You're not mine." You can't just say you disown somebody and it happened, right? That person carry your DNA. You are their parents until death. And at some point of your life, you are, in my understanding as a Christian, I believe, I don't care how old your child is, even though they're going to give account of themselves, I believe that God is also going to ask you to give account of them. Like, what did you do to prepare your child for life, right? How were you supported to them? So I also believe that you may make it clear to them as a mom. What I would say is, I do not believe and support the lifestyle that you're choosing, but I support you as a child. I think people need to learn to be able to express different things. You don't have to agree to people's lifestyle, but you have to support them as an individual, as a person. Anything that pertains to that lifestyle, I don't want to be part of it. This is what I would say. Anything that's surrounding that, I don't support it, but I want you to know that as a person, I will still pray for you. I will still welcome you. I will still give you the love and support that you need. If I feel like it has to do with that lifestyle that you have, and I need you to also respect my boundaries as well. I think people really need to be honest and open about discussing this, listen to them, what happened and how it is. If somebody said, you not know, but I was molested by X, Y, and Z, and I have become to realize this is the type of lifestyle that fit for me. No, somebody damaged that person. And now they're thinking that's the normal life that they need. So this is where you start getting a therapist for them to talk about it, because those are unresolved wounds that they have shifted their whole paradigm of what life is and they're choosing that lifestyle based on that. So, one, listening and showing support is the, to me, you have to listen actively and you have to hear them. You also have to acknowledge that coming out can be a difficult process. So, giving them the idea and understanding that, one, I understand and I believe. You want me to mute you a little bit? So validating their feelings. So making sure that someone know and understand and respect, they're getting the respect, and that you tell them you understand how much courage it took for them to even be able to sit with you. That means they value what you have to say to them, that you value their opinion and things like that is definitely important. And if this person hasn't told anyone else but you need to respect their privacy. This is not where you go to the church and you're telling everybody in the church, oh, you will not believe this person, my X, Y, and Z, my son or my nephew or my dish just came to me and told me that they're homosexual. Like, that is so disrespectful. The best approach is to keep it as it is until that person feel comfortable to let the whole world know. You should not be saying it to everyone. If you want to put it as a prayer request, you can put it as a prayer request. Do you want to mute your camera? You have someone else in there. So, one, educate yourself. Educate yourself about this issue and what is going on. Learn more about it. How do people come up with this decision? How do people get here? Educating yourself is the number one thing. And then ask how you can help them. If somebody's saying because I would treat it this way, give them concrete feedback. If I'm choosing to be with a woman because I feel like all men treated me bad, then I have a really serious problem, because men are human beings, women are human beings. It's not a man or woman issue, it's a human being issue. So this is where you get to make somebody understand that it's not just a gender thing. This is a people thing. So sometimes somebody may not have that understanding. Just being able to talk to them and giving them that feedback, it goes a long way. You don't know, you might shift their entire thought process on that you know. And I think, Jimmy, you had shared a story here once about, I think last week you talked about a young lady that confided in you, right? And we don't know if she changed her lifestyle, but you definitely did something for her that she probably didn't think anybody could have done for her, by you listening and just being there and just seeing them as a person. It's kind of like someone who kills. We're supposed to pray for them, right?
Yeah.
So why not pray for this other person too? But let me see what else you have to add to the topic.
Yeah, Sophie, as we talk about this, especially as a Christian parent,
Mhm.
you know, it's good to have these conversation with your kids as they get older,
Yeah.
you know, educate them. Sex education in the homes are very important, but that is one topic that most parents escape. They don't want to talk to children about it. So at the end of the day, they only find out that the kids are involved in a whole lot, and they get upset. And, African parents, most of them, they kick them out.
Right.
And at the end of the day, the kids, you know, most of them don't do good, you see. So as a Christian parent, it's good to start having those kind of conversation with your kids, you know, let them know who they are, where they belong to, what conversation that is should engage or encourage, what kind of friends, you know,
Yeah.
and as a Christian parent, always know who your children are, always know who your children talk to and talk with. Because nowadays we have peer pressure that is driving a whole lot of, you know, uh, kids into wrongdoings. All right. It might not be, the topic we're discussing tonight, but it
Right.
might it might, be that they are talking to someone who is involved into some negative behavior, like drugging, or some other bad habits. You see, know the kind of friends your kids keep.
Right.
That's one, because kids nowadays that have access to internet, they go on there, they read a whole lot of stuff, and people are putting a whole lot of stuff on the internet that, that even adults, if you read and you are not careful, you might be carried away. What's about kids, who are not strong decision makers on their own yet? If they come across those kind of things and get get you know caught up within it, it becomes difficult to get them out. So the way to prevent it is to start educating them. Is to start educating them that you are man, you are woman. It is wrong for you to do XYZ with the same sex. It is wrong for you to do XYZ, or look, when we were growing up, you know, boys could go down a creek and you know and swim
Yeah.
together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Girls could go down a creek and swim together, did a whole lot of things together. There were nothing of such in our minds. But
Right.
nowadays, I call it, as technology improves, there are a lot of things that are out there that are not good for our kids, our nieces and nephews to be looking at. But they look at it because of the world that they found themselves. So as a parent, always check on your kids.
Right.
Know what they are watching. You got to know what movie they are watching. Especially on their phone. Because on the television, when you are home, they won't watch certain things. But on their phones, you
Right.
don't know. You have to know what they watch there, what they do on their phone is very important. It's very important, you know. And it is a very hard thing for a mother or father who have taken care of their child, for that child to come to them one day and tell them, say, I am not, you know, I'm not Francis, I'm Frances now. You
Yeah.
understand? Yeah. No parent who is, especially African parent, will not take it lightly.
Yeah.
Will not take it lightly. The first thing is, they're going to react. They're going to react. And and in those kind of cases, reaction will not solve the problem, to make it worse. The best thing to do is to show them love. Look, love does a whole lot of things. Love changes a person more than hate will do. See,
I think it's the common pill for that, right? It's like if somebody came out and just started yelling at you and you stay calm and you say, don't worry, I'm here to support you. You just literally change the whole narrative.
right. You gave that person confidence to even sit down more and talk to you.
Yeah.
All right. Show them love. Say, honey, I understand, but can we talk about this? Do you have time? Do you have a minute so we can talk? You know, once you once you show that kind of empathy, love and caring, or mood according to that person, even if they were afraid of having that conversation. But because of the way you welcome them at that moment, they will
Yeah.
calm down and say, now, we can have a conversation. And sometimes they have not even gotten into it, but they just want to have a conversation and see how you will react. You see? And,
Yeah.
and then and then if the person comes to you and you get boom, 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 you drive them away and you make it worse. The, the person go, I got whatever. I'm either I can do whatever I got it I want because my mom don't care. I was trying to talk to her, and or my dad don't care. I was trying to talk to him, and and he just blew it out of proportion. But
Right.
if you welcome them, you know, make them to feel more relaxed and comfortable around you, then you can have a conversation.
Right.
Then you
And
can have a
yeah, sorry. I just want to add, like, I think most African parents make it about them, and it's not about you in that moment. It's not about you. I think parents in general, let me not just say African parents. Hey, Ruben how are you? Welcome to the show. Sorry, guys, I wasn't on yesterday. I overslept in my little nap I went to take. But as I was saying, I think I'm putting myself as we as parents. I think we do a good job by making kids, when we were growing up, they make us go to church. You gotta go to church. As long as you live in this house, you will go to church. Why am I going to church? You know, I think the best approach, if you start to notice those tendencies, that your child or family member or someone that you are close to or that is having those tendency, and you think you can change the narrative, I think the best approach to start doing is actually teaching your kids the Bible version of it. Like, sit them down about it and said, are you, for me, I think my approach would be, I'll ask you first, you have told me, I respect exactly what you've told me. Do you still believe in God? Do you believe in God? Do you follow his word and his doctrine? I think that's the first thing, because someone who's in a sound mind and they've been taught the word of God and they understand what God is with that, you ask them that and you said, are you walking with God? Do you know how God feels about this? And it's not a judgment. You're just asking them, do you know? Are you ready for the consequences of it, you know, of what is to come when you choose this lifestyle? There's a whole lot, and I think as a parent or as a family member, it is your duty to be educated. Maybe that person's coming out just because they're basing it on their feelings and they don't know. And then also, you just have to ask, do you understand the danger that comes with this lifestyle? And the person may say, well, there are danger in every relationship. Yes, but not as much as it is in a man and man relationship and a woman and woman relationship. Have you looked at the statistics? Do you understand it? Have you considered everything and you've accepted it and this is what it is you want? I think you have to help people guide them, because sometimes, you know, people go with their emotions and their feelings and it's like, I'm attracted to this person. This lifestyle is fluid, which means it changes over time. It's by mood and how I feel and whatsoever. So you have to ask all the question and you have to let them know you're not judging. You're just trying to get a full understanding how they came up to this. I think, yes, it's hard for parents to really say, um, to say that this is it and that. Let's see, River Pro says something. I knew a pastor whose son was believed to be gay. His father often preached against it without being direct. The mother, on the other hand, shielded him from public ridicule. Right. And I think mothers are very fond of that. You, as a mom, you cannot play the hypocritical game. You and your husband has to be on the same page. If you believe in that, don't be like, oh, it was my son or it's my daughter. I carried him for 9 months. And I think that's where the problem starts because both parents are not on the same page and are not accepting of who their child is, not the lifestyle. For me, for sure, I'm not going to accept that lifestyle because I don't believe in it, but I'm not going to treat you as an outcast. You're so invited to my home as my child. Now, on the other hand, bringing your partner to my home, that is absolutely not. I'm not going to say you guys both come to that's my son, husband, or whatsoever. I just want you to understand you have to accept me as I'm willing to accept you. You have to understand my feelings are valid and your feelings are valid. So, as a mom or as a dad, you should be very direct and specific of what it is you're willing to accept. And then I agree, like the mom will hide it because they think they're being protective. You're not being protective. Everybody involved has to be transparent and honest and open about what is happening. So Jimmy is back. This is what Riverside Pro said. He said, I knew a pastor whose son was believed to be gay. His father often preached against without being direct. The mother, on the other hand, shielded him from public ridicule. Yeah, as parents, you always want to protect your child. But people have to understand once you choose a lifestyle, you choose everything that comes with it. That's why I think the mom and the dad have to do their due diligence and not beat around the bush. You sit your child down. If they haven't come to you, you start to sit them down and start asking them, do you understand what the Bible says? Do you understand what the preaching is? Do you understand? Like be be a team sport. Don't be like it's like my father against me, my mom is supporting it. And that's where the problem starts. So
Um,
what do you want to say about this comment?
one of the hardest thing for parents is to see the both parents divided on the child. That is very hard. It's a difficult task to see one parent for and another parent against the child's behavior. It's no easy thing. But one thing, people who preach the gospel to know is that the issue of the issue of lesbianism, gay, or homosexualism, it is spiritual. It is spiritual, and it is the work of the devil. Like I said the other time on the last show, that the antichrist that was being preached about, talked about in the book of Revelation, that we all been waiting for or we expecting, whether we waiting for it or not, it is now. But it has not come with a mark on the face. It has not come with a 666. So most people believe that until they see that 666, that's the Antichrist. No. Antichrist is anything that is against the practice of Christ. You see, anything that is against the practice of God is an Antichrist. So, homosexuality is an introductory point of the Antichrist into the world. It was there before. God destroyed a whole city, because of that. And it got, you know, it has now returned. It is a return of the Antichrist now. So any pastor who preaches the word of God and fail to understand that this is an act of the devil, it is an Antichrist, and you want to drive people away because of that, then you have failed as a minister, because you're supposed to minister to those people. You're supposed to minister to those who are practicing this. Pray for them and minister to them Let them know that this is not the will of God for your life. Whether they agree or not, you are doing your job. And tomorrow, if that person doesn't repent, they die, it is God who will hold them responsible. God will not hold you as the minister responsible because you have played your part. Okay?
Yep.
Do you know that any minister that failed to minister to a soul, to a soul that is supposed to repent, as a pastor, when you fail to administer to that soul and that soul die, the Bible says the blood of that person is in your hand. It's on your hand. You see? So you will not be doing your job if you drive them away. You see? But you will be doing your job if you bring them close and minister to them, whether or not they accept it, you know, that's what, just do your job. I do not frown on pastors who preach against it on their pulpit. I do not frown on them. You see? But we have to go from preaching to counseling
Right. Show compassion.
and teaching and showing compassion, showing compassion. Because even Jesus, how do you call it, when he came, he became the best friend to the sinners, to the people who were considered the worst sinners and dejected in their very communities. Okay? So, as a follower of Christ, you also should be in a position to accept sinners, and counsel them, teach them, show compassion, show love. There are a lot of things that love can do, that hate will never accomplish.
You're absolutely
So,
right.
so River Test Pro, I think he just put another question, but
Yeah, let's get Anna in really quick. Then we go to
I'm
that
sure he will
question.
come to that. So
Yeah.
let me stop there and welcome Anna. Anna, welcome to the show.
Anna, welcome.
Guys.
Hey, sorry about yesterday.
It's okay.
So today we're talking about the approach, the best approach, or advice you could give to a mom or dad or family member that had just learned that their child or a family member is practicing homosexuality.
I think first you have to accept, like don't push them away. You should try to understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Let them know that, this is not a natural process. However, you you will be there for them throughout the process. But then again, like we're mentioning about church, taking them towards the house of God, you know. In I don't want to say pretend like you care about them like that, but just accept them for who they are and then still take them to church so that the priest or the pastor can administer to them, and it might change their viewpoints about their sexual orientation.
Yeah. Sorry about that comment.
Okay. I think Riverside has a new question.
I wanted to say that it's not an easy thing though, like especially if
Right.
you're from a family that has never been
You
done. Like I
know,
know in some cultures,
but but
people
but
get beat.
uh uh, uh, uh okay, go ahead, Anna, land first, and then I will come in.
I was gonna say in some cultures when you come out, they call it come out. When you come out,
Mm-hmm.
it's considered an abomination in the family, and you're kind
Right.
of you
Okay.
go to a lot of rituals and things to see if they can take somebody out. It takes winning a soul in heaven to change someone who thinks that they're gay or lesbian into being a straight person. So I would say that if you start off by accepting the person or their viewpoint on what they think about themselves, and then
Right.
slowly transition them to realize that. And also I wanted to mention, like, exposing them to things like sometimes you think a guy is gay, but when he's around other women that are beautiful, nature takes its course, um
Right.
just not keeping them around other guys, but exposing them to what you want them to be, you know but you
Right.
don't have to, yeah, you don't have to force them, but slowly transition them into what you want them to be.
So I have a quick question before Jimmy thing come in. So you think by having them around um women and stuff that might influence that?
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes,
an
like, I'll
interesting
use
thought.
myself for example.
Hmm.
Like, I used to go to a boarding school. Boarding schools, I went to an all girls school, right? And a lot
Hmm.
of girls used to practice these things just because they didn't have other men around them.
Mm.
But if you're in a unisex school, in a how do you say it, a bisex school where there are
Hmm.
different sexes, having
Hmm.
that guy or male energy can change that.
Um,
Ah, interesting.
you know,
Okay.
Anna talk about nature taking its course. You know,
Yeah.
listen, listen. There is nobody who is 100%, you know, less or gay that will say they don't have feeling for the next sex. Except they do not have such person around. Every woman have a man that they are attracted to. Every man have a woman that they will be attracted to. Take it or leave it. If you leave those two together, just leave it. Yeah. You
Jimmy,
know,
let's go to some of the comment quick, man.
I, I know most of I know most of the people that say they are practicing that, especially female, but at the end of the day, someone will get pregnant. So who pregnant you?
I think you guys are looking at it from those who just chooses that lifestyle because again it's fluid,
No,
right? It
they
can
would
change.
tell you that they are gay or lesbian, and then before you know, they're doing something with the opposite sex because you're confused.
Exactly.
Right.
And and fee, there are people that do those things not for pleasure. Some people do it for ritual purposes.
Mm.
You see? Yes. And that's why I say, if you remember, I told you that it is spiritual.
I know.
It is spiritual. But there are many people who getting into it who do not really understand why people who introduce them to it do what they do. You see, we see that, like a lot of politicians are into it. And some of them are hiding it because they can't go public because of their society. But they are into it. But they're not into it for pleasure. Mind you, they can have that and still go, and still go the opposite sex. You see, so it's not for pleasure. A lot of people don't do it for pleasure. Some people do it for ritualistic purpose.
I understand, but for the sake of this argument, I want us to focus on those people who really truly believe they are. And that's what, like that's the lifestyle they want to live. That's what they've choosing. They've chosen who they love. Nobody should tell them who they can love or not. I know there's so much, surrounding that, but there are people who are genuinely just captured by that, and that is what they are. And, they just feel like there's no other lifestyle around it, and that's what it's going to be. And they have truly come out to live their truth.
Yeah.
I know.
See,
Riverside Pro posted something.
like I said previously,
Yeah.
that there are many reasons why people get involved in those things,
Yeah.
but until, they have somebody that they really open to and have the conversation, you will not know. Some people got into it by peer pressure.
I
And,
know.
and because they are already into it, they think that it is normal now.
It's
Okay.
what
And
you're accustomed to, right?
right. Some got into it, because of poverty, especially, in Africa, because of poverty, you know. A lot of guys, because there's no job, they have to make a living. So they get involved into this kind of thing with people who have the money and want to do it for whatever purposes they have in mind to do it. You see?
Yeah.
So as a Christian parent, we should always teach our children, and not just teach them, but check on them. Know who the friends they keep. Know the friends to keep. You know, um, if your child goes to school and come from school and you see them, you know, not looking okay, talk to them. Have a conversation with them. You know, have a conversation with them. If your child, comes from school, ask your child, hey, how was school today? Did you make do you have a friend at school? What does a person do? Have some conversation with them, and you may never know, something might just spark up.
I think
So,
I agree. I think something that most African parents don't do is try to get connected with their
yeah,
friends, with their kids' friends'
just
parents.
before we go, just before we go, how to call it with River says, I have a I have a nephew of mine that came from school. Oh, Uncle Jimmy, I want how to call it, I want to eat McDonald's. I say, okay, get in the car, let's go. And while we were driving, I started asking him how was school today. Does he have a friend? And he told me, and you will not believe what I got to know, that child, you know, between the age of 10 and 11, told me that another classmate of his tried to kiss him
I mean, that's normal. It happens all the time.
when they met in the bathroom.
Was it a boy or a girl?
A boy,
I
another boy.
don't mean to laugh, but it's like, oh my god.
No, I'm telling you, kids are doing a whole lot in their school, but parents are not having those conversations with them. Parents are not asking them.
Yeah.
And you see,
And
so
I think
you know
it's
what
not
happened?
just asking though, Jimmy. I don't think it's just asking. I think parents are not available. Parents are not and I understand why. I'm not judging any parents not being available because there's a lot going on. You have to
Let
be able
me
to
tell you what
survive
happened.
and provide.
Let me tell you what happened.
Yeah.
I told him it is wrong for another guy to kiss you. So I'm going to have this conversation with your mom. I said, have you ever had a conversation with your mom? He said, no. I said, how about your dad? He said, no. I said, okay, we're going to have that conversation as soon as we get back. He said, okay. He said, okay, Uncle Jimmy. And we got back. I talked to the two parents. I said, this is what your son told me. You'll have to follow up with that person. We'll have to go to that school and follow up with them.
Woo! You know, let me tell you right before we finish. Hearing you say this, it reminds me every day why I feel like I should like homeschool my kids. But then at the same time, it's like you cannot protect your kids from everything, right?
No, you can't.
But I do believe as Christian, I think as kids are growing up, as we're encouraging them to go to school and go to church with us, I think it's very important that we start teaching them the Bible way of relationship, what relationship looks like. Because the world is already telling them what relationship is. And instead of us just telling them we gotta go to church, we gotta do this, you gotta start laying the foundation. Hey, no, as a Christian, this is what we believe, this is who we are. You're going to see these in the world, but that's not who you are. This is who God wants you to be. I think this is where we start really talking about these things because um and if whatever it is happen, but if we're not discussing it, wow, I'm really shocked that that's even happening at that age.
Look,
Wow.
kids kids do a lot. They watch a lot on the internet. You don't know who your kids are talking to. You don't know the parent of those kids. You don't know what the parent do when their kids are around. And I always tell parents who have kids, don't never let your child above 5 years old to start sleeping in the same room with you when you and your man or I call it a woman are having fun, because those
What? Why would you do that though?
those
Anyways, let's go
kids.
to the comment section. You're giving me a heart attack.
No, we gotta put some fire in the team, man.
You're giving me a heart attack. You're being there doing you my number one and if you're there, why in the world?
Some of them kids be, like, especially they be acting like they're sleeping, but they're not.
But why are they not in the room? If they fall asleep, take them to the room.
I watched a video, about a
Oh,
little
Lord.
girl, and and her dad, you know, she asked her mom, she said, "Mommy, do we have a cat in this house?"
Jimmy, I'm begging you.
and and
Oh, Lord.
and the kids, something, and then the conversation go about, why would that kid an innocent cat?
You're away from the camera. We can't see you. You hiding yourself. You'll come back.
you know, but dad,
Oh,
maybe mom was telling dad to kill the cat, and the kids know that they don't have a cat in the house. So in the morning, she decided to ask them. See, I watched that video. I watched that video out. I was so cracking up. Say, but
Jimmy, don't you need to show yet or something? I beg you.
okay, I'll leave it. I'll leave
Jimmy said, don't be talking about Kenny Doll and Cat around there.
it.
Oh man, no, but it's true though. I think I think a lot in our community we're not very cautious of conversation we have. Our mom them day, they were very careful when you're having conversation, they'll look around and say, hey, leave the room. Now like nobody really care. People just say whatever, whoever is there, they don't care, they just say it. Let's go to our comment section. I think River Pro has said we kind of covered this, but he says, I noticed that mothers are more supportive of their gay children than fathers. Why do you think? I think it depends on the family and stuff like that. Most mom, I think mom feels like they have the most love for their children because of them carrying being the carrier, but I don't think it's always the truth. I believe in I think moms are more accepting because they're seeing it from a different lens. They're not looking at their child as that gay child. They're looking at that child as this is my child. Vice versa, I think fathers look at, especially if it's a boy, I feel like father look at their boy as you have to carry my name. You need to leave that mark. You need to leave. You are my legacy. You have to be like me. And if that can't be, it's kind of like a punch to the gut. And I'm not a dad, but I'm just saying, like, just looking at it from that lens. Like, you are my legacy. I have children because I want them to be able to be me when I'm not here anymore. When they look at you, they know who Felicia was or who their dad was, and now you're telling me you're gonna marry a man. Do you know what that means? You cannot have children. Biologically, you cannot have children. Yeah, you're gonna say I'll go adopt, but that is not the natural course that most father looks at. So I think that's why it's so difficult for them to look at that and they're like, what? I didn't raise you to be this way. Why are you that way? So mom are more like, he's still my baby. And, regardless what it is, I love and care for him. But I think some moms are not very honest and sit their child down and not thinking about their redemption. I think they're thinking about right now and not thinking about it. Even though, yeah, homosexuality is a sin, all sin is a sin, but I think the case of homosexuality, the Bible specifically said that it is one of those sin that is like, I don't even know how to describe the magnitude of how God was mad. Even though we talk about Sodom and Gomorrah, there was other sin that I believe was the cause of what God did and destroy the whole nation. But I think the homosexuality was the icing on the cake that just killed it, in my opinion. So I'm gonna let you guys see what you have to say to that comment.
Okay, so the thing there is that fathers are disciplinary,
Yeah.
mothers are compassionate and understanding people. But however, in some family, the mother can be the disciplinarian and the father can be the compromiser. So it depends what family you find yourself. You know, I have seen mothers that frowned at their children for practicing homosexuality. And I've seen fathers play a softer role, trying to bring the child closer so that he can talk to them, he can counsel them. Okay. And most of the time, the mother being supportive of their child, the mother can be supportive of their child, but not what they practice. You see, no matter how bad the child becomes, that that love, that motherly love, will always be there. So it doesn't mean that the mother is actually supporting what that child does, okay? But she still see that child as a child that is able to make a change, as a child that is able to be a better person than who he or she is at the moment. Okay. So and another thing that Christian parent, as we talk about this, we should not do is to, like I said previously, if you distance yourself from a child that is practicing that, you know, the child becomes public. When a child becomes public, it brings more, negative image to the family. Then if you bring the child closer, and try to, counsel them, try to pray with them, try to educate them as to, you know, what they are doing and whether it is wrong or right, putting them on the right path, bringing them close and putting them on the right path, keeping them close to you instead of just leaving them to go in the public like that. Because when the child, when it goes public and everybody knows it, adequate, guess what? This was something that we could handle it in house, and get it settled and get our child to ourselves. But because we distance ourselves, we make them feel dejected, rejected, and we send them in the street. Now see where we are, you know, see where we are. And some children who even go into depression, I call it, because they are not getting that parental love and support. They might feel that, oh, because of who I have become, my parent don't care about me, XYZ. So mothers are always supportive of their children, but not that they support what they do.
Right.
Okay, because I believe that mother can still tell her child, look, man, you're better than this, in the back, she call him or her, look, we love you, your dad, loves you, but this thing you are doing is not good, and that's why making him angry. Mothers will always show the softer side in order to get the child, I call it, become better. But as for the fathers, some of us, we just want to be, harsh, and for no reason, not knowing that, if we become softer on a child, we can even bring them closer and get the best out of them.
Thank you so much for that. Anna, what do you have to say to this comment?
Sorry, what was the question?
He said, I noticed that most mothers are supportive to their gay children than their fathers. Why do you think?
I don't think that any mother would want their child to be gay.
Yeah.
However, they say you cannot. There's a saying in my country, or in my country, that if a child poops, you only wash it. You don't cut his or her butt, and throw away, right?
Right.
This saying is just to say that no mother, after carrying their child for 9 months, would would just let go of their child like that. They will always frown about it, but they have to support the child because that's their child. That's like their sweat. But they know that every mom has an approach in which they use to discipline their child. Some women might still be supportive with their children, but still some of their approaches could be harsh, and some could be very nurturing, right? But
Mhm.
all the same, they will not abandon their child because he's our child is gay. So I just believe that the, the mothers will always be there for their kids. It's not that they're supporting what their kids are doing. It's the same like the mom who has a child who steals, and everybody is always beating the child up in the neighborhood. They don't like what their kids are doing, but they have to support their kids because of all the struggles that they went through to bear that child. Stop the noise. I don't know if I'm making sense, Jimmy.
It does. It does. It does.
Yeah,
I agree.
so they don't support it, but they have to be there for their kids because if they don't, who would?
Right.
You know? So
That
it's like they
child
don't
still
have a
represent
choice.
you, right?
What I'm trying to say is that they don't have a choice. They have to
Right.
support their kid and then slowly get them to where they want them to be.
Gotcha. Thank you so
You know?
much. Yeah. So the next one said, let this one made me laugh. River says, bro, I'll come for you. He said, let any of my children come tell me they're attracted to I think he meant the same sex. When I finish beating that attraction out of you, they will call 911. That's from. That is an approach we don't want you to do. We want you to stay calm. Stay calm, okay? Salome said, I woke up early. Oh, thank you for making it on, Salome. It's been a while. How are you? So he said, guys, do you think children are genetically born gay? If you notice some unusual behavior in a child, do you pray against it? Do you take them back to Africa for cultural orientation? I think it's even worse in Africa. That whole thing that people be saying, I'll take you back home, that stuff has been gone through the roof and it's done with.
People are
What
still
else?
doing that though. And I
Huh?
think that I said people are still doing it, but I think
People
that
are doing it, but it's not helpful.
yes, I was just about to say that it's not helpful, but
It's
I've
not
heard that
helpful.
I've heard that
Hmm.
it's in is genetics, But I don't agree with that. I think children grow up learning, like your
Yes.
environment. They say there's something
Yeah.
we call in social work, person in
Yeah.
the environment. Your environment influences your behavior a lot. And if a
Absolutely.
child grows up and you see him playing with dolls and toys, you can ignore those things, but you can also try to redirect the child. Children learn from their environment. If your child is around gay or lesbians, there's a high probability that he or she would turn out like that.
Right.
So I just think that your environment has a huge part to play with it, but I don't believe that it's genetics. But there's
I
research that has
agree.
shown that it's genetics, though. But I don't
Yeah.
know.
I agree too. I don't think it's genetics. Everybody keeps saying it's genetics. Some people are more feminine because of their genetic. Well, I don't want to use that. Their chemical makeup in their body, right? So some people are quiet and soft spoken, and I think we talk about this on here. But I don't think it's anything has to do with genetics. It's just human behavior, and I think people are very quick on like pointing out who individuals are as they're growing up these days. Because when we were growing up, a lot of people would say, "Oh, the little boy was playing with shoes, or playing with this and that, so now he's gay." No, he's not. That's the learn. Everybody has to explore their environment, and he or she has to whatever is around them. They're exploring that. So how would you say because he's taking the lipstick, so he has a tendency he's gonna be gay or something like that. I hate when people say that. But in my opinion, I don't think it's genetically a genetic. I don't think people are born gay. I think people um in their environment and life situation as things goes on, they get adapted and drawn to those people who support them more. It's kind of like when you play sports, you're around a lot of those individuals in a way, like in the locker room you're with a lot of men or you're with a lot of women, and you guys play together, you build that comfort with them, and you joke around. There's a lot of things that happen in the locker room that people don't really talk about if you play sports, right? And you build that comfort and that support system within. You feel like you can talk about anything. So I think people just start to feel what is comfortable for them, and they go for that. I think people need to give children chances for them to grow up and try to identify who they are, instead of them trying to identify them saying, "Oh, in your genes, it's in your genes." I haven't seen any research that said genetically people are born gay. I would like to see that. Like, what type of gene is carrying that?
I can send you a couple. I've seen a couple, but I don't believe it.
Okay, so here is the thing, right?
Yeah.
Here is the thing, and that's why like I previously stated, we got to be very careful and mindful with our kids, with what they read on the internet, because you have gay doctors, you have gay writers, you have gay researchers, you have them in every field of profession.
Right.
So they are writing things and putting them on the internet that will make people feel like, yes, these things come with nature.
Yeah.
Okay. If God made every human being. If he genetically made somebody to be a gay, why would he destroy a whole city because of it? So look, it is not a will of God for anybody to be gay. It is not. People choose to be who they think
Uh, yeah.
they should be.
Mhm.
You see? And I tell you this: the the Antichrist word is creeping in the church. It's creeping in on the church. It's creeping in on the homes. It's creeping in politics. It's creeping in every spectrum of life.
Right.
You see? So we as Christians, when the Bible says train up a child in a way that he should go, when he is old, he will not depart from it. The Bible understands that children, when they are taught the foundation of who they are, when they know and believe in who they really are, there is no way that when they grow old, they will leave that faith, they will leave that foundation. You see, the reason why, I don't even like my friend man to stand very close to me is because is because of something that I have been taught, of something that I have believed in that
Mm.
is not right.
Really? Why?
Yes.
I mean, what do you mean staying close? What do you mean?
Like, I'm speaking figuratively. It said everything I would just make. Oh, you see, you the one when I try to euphemize something, and then you come, you play the devil's advocate. Then when I put it out, you say, "Oh, Jesus," just to spoil my name. You
No,
see,
because the way you said it, you say I don't let a friend man come next to you. I mean, what's wrong with that? If you are who you are, it doesn't matter, right?
no. When I say stand close to me, when I say stand close to me, I do not mean just casual standing.
Make it clear, man. We are watching and learning. Ah,
Okay. You are troublesome. But the bottom line is, I
mm.
do not, I do not, and will not take it lightly if my friend man, you know,
Dance
like
on you.
even even a handshake can send a signal, right?
I beg you, yeah, move on that.
Hmm. I'm telling you,
Okay, what
even a,
kind of handshake? Well, some people will shake your hand inappropriately, right? But
okay.
a handshake shouldn't be a problem.
No, it will be a problem if you shake my hand inappropriately. You should be
Right.
doing that. You should be doing that to your girlfriend or your boyfriend. And I mean, if a woman does that to me, you know,
It send
it,
a signal to your body.
yes, yes. But a man who face is even harder than mine, who,
He
whose
look
body
in your face. He look in your face and said, "Jimmy,
I,
how
I,
are you?"
I don't even like to look in my friend man's face for over 5 seconds. The most I can do is 1 second.
Jimmy.
I look in your yeah, if and I have to be telling you something, and I look in your eye because there are certain communication. There are certain things when I'm trying to communicate. I like to look in people's eyes and tell them. But
All right, like what?
but
I
it
still want to get you hot sauce.
if I start looking in your eye, if I'm talking to you and looking in your eye and you start bringing your eye at me some kind of way, you you are already picking a fight.
Then I found that problem.
No, you are already picking a fight. You are already picking a fight.
Oh
You
man,
see?
we got so many questions. We gotta hurry and get to them. Oh jeez, let's see. So he said he taking them to church is, I guess when I say take them to church, yeah, I mean you can take your kids to church, but I think honestly, start making it more. I really didn't. I would say, let me just say, I would say I didn't really like how our parents or family did us. When we were growing up, they would tell you, go to church. We got to go to church. As long as you live in the house, you go to church. You're not teaching me to be able to have that understanding of what it is that we believe. I think you should do your due diligence. Even though, yeah, you have to go to church, you have to explain to people, you have to tell them, start teaching them things that they can understand at an age appropriate timing, right? So when I reached the age of 18, quote unquote, that's why America said you're adult. But the Bible said when you reach the age of understanding, right? When I reach the age of understanding where I can decipher what it is I want in my life or things like that, then I start to decide, okay, this is what I am. But we all just grow up because we've been going to church, we're Christian automatically. No, you're not. You have to be able to understand and identify with Christ and understand that. And I think half of these things that are making a lot of people confused is the fact that we're not giving them a listening ears. We're not hearing them out. We're not paying attention to it. I think I skipped one. Sorry, I skipped Solomon. Solomon gave us a advisable approach for family. She said, in situation like this, I think family can take a compassionate, understanding, and biblical ground approach that honors their faith while showing unconditional love to their family member. I agree absolutely on that.
That is exactly what we've been talking from the initial stage. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I know. Let me go back. River Cesspool says, many influences come from school and other social gathering. Yeah, that's why I think right now I took my kids out of school. I'm homeschooling them, and then I'm working like later shifts or like stuff like that. But I think what parents are not doing, we're not engaging into the school's activities. You need to know who the kindergarten teacher are, who they are. You need to make familiar when you go drop your kids. Don't just drop them to the door and run go. No, go in there, have conversation. It you can tell like how your child's gonna learn in that classroom. Get a feel of what's going on. Don't just go drop off and then be gone, because you're supposed to be teaching up your child in a way that when they grow, they won't depart from it. Now someone else is taking on that role. How are you going to be part of that? So I absolutely think, yeah, the influence is coming from there, but parents can also be part of that narrative.
Fee, even in the church now,
Yeah.
there there are a lot of reports that people kids are being molested in some in children church.
Yeah, the what? Oh, forgot it. Sunday school.
Children church, not Sunday school.
Oh.
Because if adults do have Sunday school,
Oh, okay.
yeah, but children church ministry, you
That's
see,
so sad.
yes. So and that is why some states have regulation that even in the church, people who are dealing with kids must have a thorough background check done.
I agree.
You see, and
That's so
and
sad.
I will advise every parent who kids are still in daycare or some program that will keep them away from home at certain age, especially between the ages of 3 to 10, like that. When you drop them off to the school, know who the teacher is, do your own background, investigation on those teachers, maybe their social media posts and other, just check and see who your kids are spending, about 8 hours with, or even
Right.
5 hours with, you know,
Yeah, I'm telling you, Jimmy, it's really hard. I
and,
mean, the
and
whole
even
daycare
those
thing
who
is a
babysit.
nightmare.
Babysitters are also one group of people that people should be mindful of when you're dropping your kids off to them. You know,
Yeah.
babysitters. I watched a movie. People will say, it's a movie, but sometimes most of the things we watch in movie are actually true life stories, or it might happen, it has happened, or will happen. You
Yeah.
see, some movies are like that. and this babysitter was a big witch.
Yeah. There's
See,
a lot of horror story on that though.
right?
It's
So,
crazy. It's crazy
so,
what's going
so
on.
you know, so all we need to do as Christian families is to pray for for our children. Teach them, counsel them, get in their life, get in their life. I spoke to a parent, and the parent say, you know what, I don't involve myself with my children, social life. And I was like, what are you saying? Look, you need to get in their social life so that you know who they're talking with, what they are doing. Because if anything goes wrong, you will blame yourself that you did not do, due diligence as a parent.
Yeah, I agree.
you know so I, I don't take it like they with parents who say I don't involve myself with my children's social life. If your daughter or son is at the age of getting a partner, know who that partner is.
I know. Ugh,
you know uh,
it's
uh
crazy.
way back, our parents used to get angry when their girl child is friendly with a lot of boys. But now they should be worried when their girl child is friendly with a lot of girls as well.
I know, right? Sleepover, slumber parties, all
Right.
that stuff.
All girls' night out. Those things, they need to be investigated. You
Let
need
me
to.
share something with you guys, okay? Let me tell you something. So I had a friend. I mean, we were friends at that time, and we all ran track and field. And I remember we always used to go out. I like dancing, you guys. That's something y'all don't know about me. Maybe one day we'll do a question Q&A. What about me? Okay. So we went dancing. We always go out to dance, and I remember one time, I don't drink. I don't take alcohol or anything like that. Not my real not I don't blame people that do it, but I don't really care for it. I am naturally high as myself. I don't need nothing, no substance to be feeling okay. So we used to go out and they were playing music. We used to dance. I know Anna and I, other people we used to go out. We've been friends over 10 years, and we'll go dancing and stuff like that, and we dance with each other, and it's fine. But there's this one friend for some reason when she danced with me, and I just feel uncomfortable because the way she would grab me, I just feel so uncomfortable. I'm just like, I'm not sure if I told Anna this once, but I was like, one day it was just so weird. It felt like she was coming to kiss me, and I pushed her so hard. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, it's the alcohol. No. Like, even with or without alcohol, like, you just come way too close. Please don't come close to me. But I think sometimes people use certain opportunity to do what it is they want to do. You just have to be mindful and educate people on there. People will try all kinds of things. The whole daycare situation, I did my research, and to be honest with you, children don't really need to be in daycare between the age of 0 to 3. We just make that because it's convenient and is the easiest thing because they're not learning much of educated stuff at daycare. They're just babysitter. They're just taking care of them. Yeah, they're trying to teach them motor and all of that. I get it. But as a mom, this is when you start instilling a whole lot. And you guys, I did the whole daycare thing with my daughter. I think she was about 8 months. And we were like, okay, let's put her in daycare because they'll be around other kids. But there are ways you can do that and have them around other kids as well. Like now, I'm really, really happy that we made the decision to take them out of the daycare because we were spending a lot of money and still having a lot of issues. They will come back with this and that, and it's like there's no concrete explanation of what's happening to the kid. you guys, I'm not discouraging anybody on this. I'll probably do a little a little video during the day one day to talk about why we came up with the decision to not put our kids in daycare anymore, where we had to fix our schedule. But I
Mhm.
just feel like my son was, when he was born, we decided we weren't doing it. He was 3 years old. It's advisable for most educator that between the age of 0 to 3 years or 4 years, you don't have to put them in daycare. You can teach them everything and put them in activities and take them to it, and they can still be part of that. And I'm
Okay.
so glad that we've made that decision. We've made so many research. I thought I'll have a lot of time, but man, the day goes by fast. I teach them. We go out to the library. We go to different things and do different things. So that's kind of helpful. But I feel like if we're going to do that to encourage our kids to do certain things, we should be able to, make those time and install those to avoid some of these issues, even though some of them are not avoidable. I don't even know if that's a word, but I just said it. But let's go to what Salome said here. Salome said another approach could be having an open, respectful, and honest communication. The family can encourage a two-way conversation where each person feels heard without judgment or condemnation. This helps in fostering mutual understanding and even helping making that child change from such ways. I don't know. Absolutely. I don't know how else you could have wrote that. So perfect. Thank you. Um, and then River says Pro said, and as an authoritative parent, I will isolate that. You're doing everything what's in you for you to not do not isolate them. You're only gonna want.
River says
Let's talk
so.
about this. Mental health is very, very important. Children these days are taking easy route out. You don't want them to feel as an outcast, and then God forbid commit suicide. Like there's a whole lot going on. So you want to create a nurturing, encouraging environment. Person, forget you and I are America diplomatic way of taking the highway will get out of them.
River says pro. I call it River says pro is not. It's not making it lazy.
Yeah. So let me also say, if the family is rooted in biblical values, they can often turn to scripture for guidance. I want to say this. I agree with you. I think when people are doing spiritual guidance, do not use it as a weapon against the individual. You need to be able to use it in a way that they feel like you're actually telling them to make that choice of their own to follow Christ. Remember, you cannot hammer someone to be a believer. Your God didn't do it that way. He was very approachable. He let you decide, like the way he let you and I decide. So if
No,
you're gonna use the biblical route, you should be able
no.
to do it in a way that someone feel encouraged and loved enough to be part of that.
See,
Yes.
when it comes to religion, when it comes to religion, the true practice of religion is is
Go ahead. Then
the true practice of religions is with those who who feel convicted, to be part of a particular religion.
yeah.
For example, uh, there are many Christians who are only Christian because their mothers and fathers were Christian. They brought them up, started taking them to church from small. But as big as they are now, they are still not committed to Christianity, even though they go to church. You see? But those who are convicted, those who are the call out, the one the Bible referred to as the ecclesia,
Hmm.
you know, are the true Christians that we have, because they do not become Christian based on based on family value. They became Christian by conviction, and that is why rain or shine, snow or whatever, they still go to church. But those of us who just became, because mama and papa used to take us to church, we can be happy sell when it snow on Sunday because we use it as an excuse not to go to church. You see, so while it is good to have, to have the biblical guardians, the teaching and the article and all of that, but go a little bit further and pray for them. Put them before God. Say, God, I want you to convict this person. I want you to show yourself to this person. Let them know and practice what we believe. you know, Outside of that,
Bless you.
thank you. Outside of that, we, you know, family will just be growing churchgoers and not Christian. Like somebody said, there are many people that are going to church, but church is not going through them.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, there are also many people who are going to school, but school doesn't go through them.
I like that.
Yeah.
Let's go to this one. That man will give me a heart attack with here coming in. He said, well, I hope he or she will feel that I will go into depression. I may even have a heart attack. Suicidal to ostracize me too. It is. Honestly, I know I'm laughing, but this is a very hard situation. I think nobody understands it if they're not in it. It's easy to sit here and tell you guys this is how you should do, this is what should work. But it's very, very I think for me the best approach is to, if you don't have anything nice to say in that moment, just tell them you hear them. Can you resume that conversation later? I think that's the best thing you can do. So that way you're in a much, calmer situation that you can talk to them. I think also advising this individual and trying to understand, I think I said it earlier, do they know the community that they're in? Because the relationship between a same sex couple is different from the opposite sex couples. Because one, if a man and a man together and you get into a fight, somebody's gonna die, you know, and who's gonna come there to your rescue right away? Because it's two men, and I'm just saying it's dangerous, and a lot has happened. They have killed each other. There's a lot of homicide in that community. I'm not saying it's not between every couples and
Mhm.
monogamous relationship, but there are statistics showing that massively this happen in this type of lifestyle. And is your child ready for that? Are they there's a lot of promiscuous ways of things that goes on in this type of relationships and stuff. There's not much of a commitment. Everybody's just all over the place. Is your child ready for it, or your family member ready for it? Making yourself knowledgeable and being able to give some feedback, I think it goes a long way. Just it is a heart attack moment because you already have what it is in your mind that you want your child to be, but you also need to remember they gotta live their life for their own. You've done your part. um yeah, I just posted the link. River says pro. It's the last comment I just posted.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let's make it
um
clear. We've been here for a
yeah, we
little.
gotta close now. My children are all running outside now. Hey Leroy, how are you? Welcome to the show. I think River says pro wants to say Leroy said two strong men showing how blue, or two women with a vestation grab a knife. Who coming in? I'm coming in. I'm sorry.
It's-
So
Even police will kind of be doing like, hey, we here, we here.
But even though we try to throw some little fun in there to make the conversation not too like,
Until that fight can
you
subside, the
know,
police is not entering
yeah,
in there.
but just think about some of the things that could come with that, and just asking question and be genuine with your question. Don't ask question to be disrespectful. Ask question in a way that you actually truly trying to understand. Like some of the question when people used to ask me when I first came from Africa, oh, do y'all walk around naked? You ask me that type of question, I'm gonna give you a very smart answers back.
I,
So ask
I
question
say
that. Hmm?
there are certain questions people can ask me. I feel attacked. Like you already pick a fight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So ask your question and ask it appropriately and be respectful to people, even if it is your child or not your child. I pray in Jesus' name, none of everybody in here, your child ever come to you with this type of situation. But then again, we live in a world that you don't know what's happening. Read the Bible with your kids. Tell them what you believe. Let them actually get to choose what it is they believe for themselves.
you know,
Um,
one thing that the devil has taken from families, especially families in the western part of the world, is family devotion. You know,
yes.
some of us we grew up in family where in families where morning and evening devotions were a must. You know, and you dare
Mhm.
not to miss any of them.
I know.
You know, unless you have a very good reason. Unless you have a very good reason. But nowadays, I- either mom is out and dad is in, or dad is in, mom is out, and even when they both home, there is nothing of such. You know,
Yeah.
there is nothing of such, and I think apart from taking the kids to church, this was one way that parents instituted a lot of things into our mind. You know, because that time, we ask questions, and some really weird questions too that we couldn't ask at church. We asked them during devotion time.
Yeah.
And those were some of the things that kept us together, that make some of us who we are today. So, as a Christian parent, even if it is one or twice a month, try to call your kids, teach them the Bible at home, have a devotion, found a passage that talks about, social issues, and, you'll have a conversation and ask the kids if they have questions, you know,
Yeah.
allow them to ask their question without no, or high emotion, you know, because some parents, when children ask questions that they don't have answer for, they
They dismiss them. Like, don't be dismissal to them. That's not
right,
nice.
right. You see,
Um,
if a child asks a question and you don't have answer for, say, at the moment, give me some time. Let, let me think about it, and then how to call it, we'll have a time to to talk about it. Instead of just how to call it, dismissing a child's a point of view, and that may make them feel less important in the gathering and don't want to participate again. You see,
yeah.
so I think that's one thing every Christian, every family should start to do with their kids. When you're stay home, when you're home, you know, that family time, you cut the TV off, put all the phones
Oh,
aside, you
Riverside
know,
Pro, let me see what happening. I'm sorry. Let me see. Why is the
you know, and,
let
and,
me
and
find the link.
and spend family time, and spend family time talking, you know, instead of just let's hold it, I call it changing channels. In fact, some parents, they send the children to their room. Oh, this movie that we about to watch is not for kids. if you want to watch other movie, you have a TV in your room, or you go to the cinema, you know.
I know.
But at home, find something that is family related. You watch, you watch together, and make sure you monitor what your kids are watching too. When you're not around, especially on their phones.
I think that's some of the problem that's happening now. There's no parental um control on a lot of devices, and people just have access to everything.
But the
Um
apps are there. The apps are there. See, there's an app you can put on your kid's phone. It's on your phone. You see everything they watch, and you can
I
put them.
haven't.
You see. So
I haven't.
you decide. Not that you decide what to watch, but you see what they watch. And if they open anything that they're not supposed to open, it's going to pop up on your phone, and then you
Well,
have to
let me tell you, I approve certain things. Well, my kids are still little, but I
you
plan
have to
on
approve
actually
certain things before they
doing
watch it.
it. Yeah, remote transport, you won't get me out of time. I give
Yeah,
up one
yeah,
day
yeah,
after six.
yeah, guys. Let me jump on quick. I had some guests, that's why I didn't. But it's
Okay.
a great conversation. But I think you guys you guys are not really taking into consideration. I think you guys are using a lot of American standard fee. And you know what I noticed, Western standard, the children don't really care how the parents feel. I mean, feel. Doing. I know you kind of spend a lot of your, you know, kind of maybe your teenage life and growing up in the United States, but you know how it felt back then. We
Yeah.
if she was taking a boyfriend to her parent, the first thing that comes, she wants to know how her parent feels. But nowadays, modern children is all about them. So that's why I came up with this psychological thing like, oh, yo, she will feel bad, she will go through depression. But what's about me, Fee? What's about me? Do you know how society would take me? Do you know, like Anna talk about like early warning sign, like maybe the person was wearing lady clothes, like all those things. Maybe I just took it to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like back then, Fee, back in like bro, we ride lady and Jimmy, no, we ride men can ride woman back over there. Like it's not a big deal. Some of all
No,
women back that in the United States, I came before I saw a bike for girls and report. Over there, we don't care. You can get on a bicycle and just ride, you
yeah,
know. But so we the parents, feel imagine how I would feel. And these children would, like today I was just talking to one of my friends, and they send their daughter to one of the top university fee. They did everything for her. This girl went and just grab one little boy from the street, and they expect it seriously fee. Don't be laughing. Serious depression thing. They put everything into this girl. Just grab one little boy on the street. Mama, like my boyfriend. And they were shocked because the expectation for this girl. Yeah, I'm telling you, fee. They feel that she chose. I think it was psychology or something. They expected her to have known better. So these children that imagine fee. I am from an authoritarian parent. I think I told you, like my father, the guy was very strict, very, very strict. And I also
Yeah.
told you with my daughter and her boyfriend, you were one of the person. Imagine how I would feel if my son were going to bring another guy you're talking about. That I mean, feel seriously. So I think we're not looking. I think we are more concerned about these children. Oh, they were going to depression. Oh, yeah, but how do I feel? Feel like me? I could get heart attack back home. That's why you see when that thing happened at the Methodist church, I was thinking, say, damn, I bet my father in his grave trying to pick up his phone to call me right now and say what the hell is going on in our Methodist church? Because this is not when we were
I
growing up in the
know.
when we were growing up, fee, I grew in it, but mine was like African Methodist church. You know, there was, and I know you talk about our parents did not, the way they treat us. Fee, our parents did not anticipate this at the time. My father would never thought that the Methodist church will marry all gay people. So he wouldn't have trained me to the front. Oh, the church is going on just in case they bring gay people in the reject. No, because he would have never, there was not, I mean, we bet it. So, the
yeah,
work is involved. So, Jimmy, we need to consider, I think you need to have another show to see how we as parents, what are the psychological effects that our children, rather than, we are being too supportive of the children. And as a result, they will just say, oh, you know what, my friend, the last time, my friend carried girlfriend to her mom, and her mom didn't say anything. Then feel what the community, it will become acceptable to society. That's my point.
You see,
Well,
uh,
okay,
uh,
Jimmy, go ahead.
see, River says, is coming from a typical African traditional background,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
and I agree with him. You know, in the African tradition, there are just certain things that cannot be part of a conversation because there is no room for it. You know, uh, in my in my tradition, the vibe, the vibe.
This
You
is the
know,
vibe.
when they talk about a poorer society, when they talk about a poorer, I never been there. I never been there, but there are certain things when people are involved with. If you are a man and you are doing inappropriate thing, like what we discussed in homosexuality, when they kill you in that bush, you're not coming back. They say the devil eat you. You see?
What?
Yes. So,
Are they killing you or
well,
like what?
I don't know whether you will stay there with the devil and and be doing or I call it live in. I don't know. You laugh again.
That's so
That,
funny.
that mean you want that mean you want
Oh,
put
he
that mean you
said
want put.
David. Oh, let's bro. When I want to answer his question.
But those things also have psychological effect on the parents, and that's why we say it is hard for parents to take it in. But the best way to go about doing it is not to ostracize the person, is not to, isolate the person, is to bring them close and talk to them. You
Remember,
know,
bro, come by here. Come by here.
ask them,
You can't drop that question and then that on here.
ask them, have a conversation. How did we get here? Have we not been a good parent? Have we not shown you the way? Have we not? Have we not? Have we not? Ask the child, what did we do wrong that made you to choose the way you choose? I'm your father. I'm your dad. I'm your mother and I came together and have you. What are you going to give us as grandchildren? you know, based on yeah, based on the way you choose to go. You know, Sit them down and have this conversation because I know it is hard. I know it is hard, but the way to go, I call it, Riverside Pro, is not to put the knife to the throat, and threaten them. It will only worsen the situation. It will not solve it. Okay, but be moderate. Call them, talk to them. There's a way that you can tell the child that you disagree with what they are practicing, without driving them away, or without being too harsh on them, because being harsh or critical, you can be critical, but don't ostracize, don't throw them away, because remember they always say there's no bad bush to throw a child. So while it is true, I understand the psychological effect on the parent, especially in the Christian community, in our society, what other people will be saying and talking and blah blah blah. It will have a psychological effect. It might even cause you not to sit in certain gathering anymore as an African parent. Yes, it might cause you not to sit in any gathering anymore because you are no longer qualified for that gathering, as when you cannot, when your child cannot listen to you and be who you want him to be. You see? But um you can't mind society, and throw your child
Jimmy,
away.
let me say my own.
So
Jimmy
yeah,
want to be all
I think
day.
that would
Yeah,
be I
go
think that
ahead,
would be
Fee.
my closing. I think that would, I think this will be my closing. If you permit me.
Okay.
Yes. So let me
But
close.
wait. Let me answer you first before you
Okay.
go, please. So, River says, "Pro, I understand where you're coming from, and I understand. That's why I said it's very, very difficult for parents, because you already have an image in your mind what you want your sons and your daughters to be. But I also believe that parents, we hold a high responsibility to teach our kids about relationship. What is relationship? Hold on one second. Sorry. So, we all own responsibility to tell. Sorry, my kid's coming out here. About to close school, but we all own. We are responsible for making sure our kids understand what relationship is. One, why do we get into relationship, right? Why do
Mhm.
you need to have a mom and dad? Why do you need to be married? I think that's the foundation as young adults start to grow up. People really have to understand that, especially if we call ourselves Christian. We have to understand biblically what does it mean to be in a relationship. Why were we put here to be partnership in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
I think once we do that, then kids understand what the foundation of that. But when they're coming out, I don't think they're actually thinking about in that very moment. It's not about you, sadly. I have to tell you. Sadly, it's not about you, it's about them. And to build that courage to come and tell you they've already thought about one, your kids know you. They know who you are, what you stand for, and what it is you're for and against. So they already know how you're going to react. They already know what's going to happen. They already know all of this. All of this has been considered and they've been pulling this together. They just needed the courage to tell you. That's it.
But fee, do you call it? I mean, okay. According to you, you say they already know. Okay, they know who I am. They know I'm a straight parent. But
Yeah.
yet they choose, and they know that I will be hurt at some point. But yet
Yes.
they chose to do. Is that selfishness? I mean, you said
It's
that it's
selfish. It's
wow.
selfish, but sadly, I have to tell you, they have to live their lives. You live your life. You chose to be married to who you're married to. You chose to have the children that you want, the amount of children. I'm so sorry, you guys. Um,
Yeah, we can close quickly now. Yeah, so you
no,
got to
no,
close
no,
it.
it's okay. The girl is not playing for her daddy, baby, her, and she mad.
Mhm,
She
mhm.
want to come and disturb me. But you chose. It's sad to say it, right? But you chose the life that you want. That was your choice, and now this is their choice to decide how they want to live their life. Now you were supposed to give them the tools to be prepared for the type of life that they want, right?
Yeah.
And now they're choosing. This is what I've chosen to be, and I want to be able to tell you this is who I am. Like it or not, you brought me here, right? So if
Mhm.
you keep preaching to your kids, we're here to procreate, like Leroy is saying, we're here to have relationship. God created Adam and Eve. I feel like when parents start to lay that foundation and they start to understand that when they get involved in this type of lifestyle, it's easier to actually say a whole lot to it. But if you allow your kids to grow up to make their own decision, all of a sudden you're like, think about me, how I feel. Sadly, they already thought about that. That's why they didn't tell you in the first place. But now they've reached the age that they feel comfortable that whenever they decide, you can't tell them you're not gonna live here because guess what? They're gonna go live on their own anyways, and they're gonna go provide for themselves. Now they want you to know that they are identified with this. You as a parent, you as a Christian, are you going to show compassion?
You see what I'm talking about?
I know
It's,
it's hard.
see,
I
you
know
see what
it's
I'm
hard,
talking
but you
about? You
I
see,
know, I know, I know.
yeah,
Remember
that's
says
a
for I know
see,
it's
that's a
hard.
hard sell. That you
It
can't sell
is.
that. You can't
So
sell that to me. I will not buy it because I
I
depend
know.
equally so as much as look. I don't. Okay, I will come out and say, you know what? Since you took a decision, you feel that's the person you like. Is I don't have to support you. Feel period.
No,
I
you
don't.
don't. And you
Exactly.
have every right to say that
Yeah.
because they've thought about their process and I'll be honest with you, as much as I'm saying this, it would be a hard blow to a gut, to my stomach. God forbid to hear my child that I have raised as a man and a woman and come and tell me this is who I am. That's going to hurt because you're my legacy. I brought
Yep.
you here to keep the family name going. And now you're choosing this type of lifestyle. But you know what I can't do was say, I can't have this conversation right now. You just told me I
Mhm.
have a whole lot to think about. Because in that moment, if I'm reacting to you, I'm going to not react like a mom or like a dad. I'm going to react in a way with my feelings because you hurt my feelings. You're telling me things that I don't want to hear. And my quicker reaction is to
Yep. Yep.
Lyra said, I ain't buying you shit. Instead, I'm
Uh,
going to sell you my.
oh yeah. I ain't gotta do nothing for. And you know, Fee. I know
And you
Jimmy will
have
come.
every right to say that to them, you
And,
know?
and I know Jimmy will come in. And you said something. Jimmy was saying something, but Jimmy, let me tell you something. I think. Look, I work with people. You know, I used to work. I work with few of these people. These gay people. And you were talking about shaking hand. Those people are not who you think they are. They don't go hitting on people like that. So that shaking hand. Look, those people they are one of the most. You know, this one guy used to come every time they go to the gay bar, they fight and thing. And I asked him one time, I said, why are you guys always God, you know, like Fee was saying, too much tension and fighting. You know what the guy told me? The guy looked in my face, Fee, he became emotional. He said, do you know how it feels to be gay? I said, what? He said, a guy like you straight. He said, you know why we fight most of the time? I said, no. He said, because of partnership. We want to keep who we got because it's hard for us. He told me, he said, guy like you can walk off the street. He said, look what? He said, we work in this big corporation. You can walk to any lady and be like, hey, I like you. I wanted to take you. He said, the worst thing she would say, no, I'm married. He said, but do you know how it feels for me to walk over to a guy? I don't know. He said, you know how many of us have died going to ask guy because we are, you know what I'm saying? He said, a straight guy can ask a girl, it's not a big deal. She would just say, no, sorry, I'm not interested. He said, but for me, if I go to a guy, first of all, I have to second guessing. Is he gay or is it? Because I don't know. He said, I could get killed. I could get punched in the nose. I could lose my tooth. He said a lot of things that have happened to them. They see some straight guys, they like them, but they dare not make any move because they don't know. He said that's why when we have these one person, we stay with them because we're not like yo. We don't. It's hard. He said the ratio of gay people is very very low. The ratio of gay to straight people is so low. That's why. And even red feet. There was this one basketball right in my area, not far from me. The girl was going to another state. She got a scholarship, a good basketball player. Her girlfriend felt jealous. They went to the Popeyes. I don't know if you guys, I know maybe your brother got here. They went to the Popeyes just to eat. And the girl just asked her friend, she was just joking. I mean, she asked her girlfriend, they were two lesbians, asked her girlfriend, so what become of us? They went to that place just to chill out, to eat, to talk about themselves. And the girl was just joking, said, well, when I go, what happened at it? And I get shot the other girl, killed that girl, fee, an A student. She was going on a scholarship. Imagine, we couldn't believe it. So that's how toxic these people relationship. So, like you said, fee, are they willing to get? There's a whole lot of things that we don't know about these people. We think
Yes.
like they are like us. No, these people, their relationship, they are very jealous, and there's so much implication into their thing. So like Jimmy was saying, oh, I won't let them sit. They will not just see you and just go sit side. They don't do that. Look, I work with some of these people. They never mess with me. They keep to themselves because they
Yeah,
know.
they do.
Yeah, because they know what it is when they mess with us, the straight people. They know what has happened to them, so they don't just go around and touching people. Nope, no straight guy will touch a girl.
Okay.
We the straight people, we got parents. We see people, women, we see people, other people. Yeah, we still try to mess with them. Gay people don't do that.
Okay,
Yeah, can I
so
just add really quick? So at
Riverside
my
Pro.
hospital, there's an infectious control guy. He's super cute, really cute man, and very nice. I knew he was
Is
gay,
your husband
but
watching a show fee?
yes,
Okay, go
I
ahead.
mean he's cute, but he's gay, and
I,
he
I,
when
I
I
just want to
learned
make sure. I just want to make sure because I don't want to be called to stop a fight.
he called me his boo. Okay,
You see?
but But let me tell you, no, he's a very nice man.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the one who inspect our OR and stuff. And when he came in, he was talking and saying, "Oh, I have never seen the OR this way." And he went like that. I said, "Oh, you are this way too?" He's like, "Oh, you can spot it from a mile. You don't have to say it." So it's like you're a human being. I'm just saying, like, try to educate because sometimes people are not educated. They just think,
Let me.
"Oh, he look nice. I like him. I think I'm attracted." It's not
Okay.
about attraction. It's a
Let
whole
me
lot with it.
let me say something about what Riverside Pro said.
Uh-huh.
About my handshake. Listen, Riverside Pro. I'm sure you know that in communication there is something called direct and indirect communication. Okay. Uh, Direct communication. The person will come straight up to you. Indirect communication, it comes in several ways. You see, and I have worked with a lot of them, still working with them, and I know how they communicate their intent to people who they feel attracted to, and especially when you know they don't want to verbalize it, but they send signals, which makes it an indirect form of communication. And once they send that signal the first time, and you did not hesitate, you did not oppose it, they're going to come another informal way to you. You see, when I talk about a handshake, Riverside Pro, you know that there's a handshake that even if you handshake a woman like that, she consider it inappropriate, and you can be held for how to call it. You can be held with kind
Sexual
of
harassment.
harassment for it. Okay, so I am just telling you, if a man give me that kind of handshake, you already pick a fight with me. When I say pick a fight, I'm not going to punch you in the nose, but you are only telling me that, hey, this is who I am, and I need to distance myself from you if I am not who you think I am. Okay, I'm not a physical kind of guy, or physically aggressive guy who just no. Okay, but I know how people communicate, whether directly or indirectly, whether formal or informal. So those that is what I mean, and I stand by it. I stand by it because in life you need to have a boundary.
Right.
You need to have a boundary, and if you don't build your boundary, you will have mosquito crawling in your space. You have grasshopper,
Yeah, he's still a mosquito and all crawling.
cockroaches,
But
and
Jimmy, Jimmy,
you
quick,
name.
Jimmy, quick. The possibility of a gay guy. And first of all, you were talking about looking. I mean, look, I know you are talking from a different perspective, but I went to an interview where I was denied a job because the interviewer guy said I didn't look in his face. I didn't look at him enough because I coming from Africa, my friend, I'm not used to looking in one man's face and looking at him like that and be smiling. Yes, the guy called the 10 seconds and say I couldn't believe it because they have people that we couldn't even speak English from East Asia and things. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but
that's
but
why
but
I
but,
say,
but
but
Riverside Pro, just before you continue,
yeah.
just before you continue, that's one interview techniques that people look for they they want to know whether you are confident, in talking to people. So that's
You're right.
one
Just saying you leave me alone.
that's one strong interview, strong how do you call it, in
My man,
interview
I
technique.
I come in
And
look
I
at
hope
no,
you learn from it. I
I
hope you learn from it. If you have to go for, how do you call it, interview again.
my man,
What happened?
I come in look at no man fit. I just lick
When the
it.
interviewee, when the when the interviewer asks you a question, you have
Okay,
to look. You have to look in their, in their eyes. You're not looking in their eyes, but you have to maintain that eye contact. You know.
My man, the guy was licking his lip after every question. I ain't got time for that kind of thing. But look, look,
the man wanna offer like grandpa. Sorry, what's up, man? Then he
yeah.
said,
So, so Jimmy, the possibility of you encountering a gay guy that will hit on you is 0.001. Now let me give you this mark. The possibility of you seeing a lady, the
Oh,
possibility of you touching a lady is very
so
high.
at the interview, you feel offended because the guy was talking to you
No,
and how to call it,
no,
and licking his lip.
no. I didn't. No,
That was, because for an explanation, that would be considered as an
no,
informal communication
no.
because
I
they
was
never,
just, no, I was
in
just
your
joking.
mind, they never communicating something with
No,
you.
no, I was just joking about the licking lip. But I didn't really know. I didn't really
Oh,
know.
okay.
I didn't really know that they took it serious here because at the time, I must admit I wasn't really. I didn't know it was a big issue here. I was so confident I had a job. You know how when you're talking, you want to add a style,
yeah.
you looking on the ground, looking in the seating.
No, 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 no,
Trying
no,
to
no.
get that swag. But then
Oh, we was that promo that we go swag there again.
Like in a people interview room, you go swag.
We go swag.
yeah,
I
but go
see
ahead,
why you
Jimmy.
get a job.
No, some job you already know you got it, and someone just looking for something to just not give it to you. This is
Yeah,
crazy.
see, I have all
Listen,
the experience. And the thing
every
that helped me, most of the people that got hired, the people I think that among people or what, I mean, not trying to discriminate, but Jesus Christ, some of the people could barely say hello in English. I'm like, what,
let,
what the hell did
let
I
me
not?
tell you,
Yeah.
I had to call it my fundamental of human resource. I had to call it professor. You know what he meant to us? He said every job offer that is placed and there are applications and you are called for an interview. He said from the format of your CV, from your CV, they already know who to give that job to. So, so, so,
Yeah.
so the interview is only meant for an impressing interaction. You see, you say
Yeah.
there are some interview people go to and they do really bad, but because of what they have in their CV, their credentials, you know, they already got a job. They already got the job, and sometimes they call, you be surprised in yourself that you didn't do good on the interview, but they still call you and give you the job.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's try to close.
All right.
Libra, leave me alone. Somebody, someone saying that they got to talk about the way you shining like Pepe there again. No, in your dreams.
I don't
No.
want. I don't want to discuss that one. Let's do our closing, please. We already gone. We already gone off
No.
topic enough.
All right. Well, River says, "Pro, don't get heart attack. I pray that will never be your portion, anyways, for you to have to deal with that. But we just pray that if that situation, even if it's not your kid, someone that you know, build that confidence to tell you that you felt so strongly about them and how they carry themselves, and that's something that's disappointing. You just have to know in that moment it's not about you and it's about them. But at the same time, if you can't show that compassion in that moment because you're disappointed, it's okay to feel that way. You don't have to respond right away. You can just let that person um know that, hey, right now it's not the moment that I would like to have this discussion. Could we talk about it later? Maybe you will be more composed and ready to talk about it. But yeah, I think this is a topic that needs to be talked about more often than we do. And a lot of us in our community are not talking about it. There's a lot of children that are committing suicide because they don't feel like they can come out to talk about it. You never know, maybe by talking about it, that's the way somebody might change from that or change their lifestyle. You could be the person who influenced them to change their lifestyle. So having an honest, respectful conversation about these, I think is very, very important. That's my closing. What you have to say?
Okay, let me close and leave. Um, First of all, thank you very much for having me on here today. Uh, Riverset Pro, he started in the chat room. I mean, and he came up here, and make up very important point. Uh, as we close tonight, we want people to know that we live in a single world. No matter what continent you find yourself, what community, what state where you find yourself, it is just one world, and there is diversity, you know, that we should all embrace. Um, in as much as I do not support that lifestyle, however, people who practice that cannot be my enemy. Okay, because I, as a Christian, I am supposed to love and not hate. I'm supposed to draw people closer to God and not drive them away. So we welcome those people, whether in our family, in our community, in our church, wherever, part of the world we meet them. We should always greet them with smile, make them feel love. And if we have to have the hard conversation with them one-on-one, we can have it. But let us not discriminate, based on the choices that they made. And um, for the Christian family, I will recommend that those family devotions that we used to have as family, especially where some of us came from, Sunday morning devotion or the evening devotion. Parents, when you stay home in the evening, try to have that devotion with your kids. Doing that devotion, you can ask a lot of questions about their school, how they were doing, entertain questions and answer from them. And don't dismiss their question if you do not have an answer. Always, let them know that there will be a better time that we can discuss that. And finally, pastors who are dealing with this kind of situation with homosexuality in the family and in the church, it's not a time to isolate those people. It's not a time to drive them away, but it is a time for you to pray for them, counsel them, and let them know it is not you who will teach them, it is God who will convict them and bring them back to Him. But our duty as ministers of the gospel, as choristers, ushers, and every position in the church, every Christian, our position, our responsibility is to teach the gospel to the weary, teach the gospel to the sinners. Okay, because we all are all sinners at once, but we got repented. So if you can preach to one sinner and that sinner repent, that is a plus for you in your Christian life. Okay, so let us live together as one people, irrespective of race and colors. Let us know that we are all in the one world and we need each other some way or the other. Thank you very much. I know Anna was not, Anna was here and she didn't, stay too long, maybe something going on in the back. But thank you, Anna, for the time you spent. There were a lot of contribution that you made that I can make mention of, but because of time. And Fee, thank you always for bringing those kind of, uh, conversation up. And Salome, it been a very long time. I didn't see your comments. I didn't see anything, but you, you always make important contributions to the show whenever you show up. So keep it up and shalom. Have a great week.
Thank you guys. I'm here fighting with my daughter.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Lee. Thank you very much. That was a great show. That was yeah, these social issues are very important for us to discuss because it is fast becoming a part and parcel of our society of every day. I was watching my question came from this that miss, I don't try to be personal, but I miss what her name, charisma. That lady, she said, oh, she said she did what's the name, surgical some diaspora something to get a breast implant. So she went to the doctor and the doctor certified her. She was giving the difference between she and Robert, and that's where one of my questions came from about people being genetically born. She said that the doctor certified her that yes, her body does meet the criteria of a female. I said, oh wow, I didn't know that. So so technically, she has been qualified by the doctor. She got doctor paper that her body, of all necessary examination, whatever they are done, certify her or certify her body, to have characteristic of a female. So now she did a breast, some kind of breast or something. So yeah, this is getting too much in our society. So it's good for us to discuss it, especially with the topic you brought. Also, parents can be aware that today is this other person, tomorrow could be one of their child. So when it pops up like that, what would be the response? How would they handle it? Especially when you're a Christian family, where how do you how will you, because you will be thinking on your parish or your congregation. Like if they find out, how would they take you? How can you take your child to church anymore like you used to? Proudly taking them to church. They were part of church activities. And now their status, their status has changed. And so much things will be running in the parent mind. Do you become supportive? No matter what the situation is or are, does it affect your status in society, especially for us African? What's about your mother, which is his or her grandfather or grandmother when they are alive? How how do they take it? How do family back home take it? There's so much question, so much question. And like you said, those kids, they don't really, I don't think they really care about how people feel behind us, grandma, grandpa. They will say, well, these people live their life. Let me live my life. But for us, the grown up people, it's more mental, it's more psychological. We're thinking about how environment perceive us as parents. Did we feel in our duty as parents? Did we, or were we just being so permissive that at the end they accuse us of raising our children the American way rather than keeping to African culture and values? So there's so much thing, that goes on with the parents when he or she finds out that her child is attracted to the same sex individual. So it becomes traumatic. It becomes, there's so much, but yeah, it's important for parents to, every parent may have their own individual response to it. Like me, I would say maybe I would choose temporary isolation to sit. I won't really want to see you, maybe not permanently, but so I can get my head around it, to kind of put myself together, to kind of like see, to, you know, kind of like do a lot of assessment and see how it affect me as an individual, my mental health. And there's so much thing I have to look out for myself the way they're looking out for themselves too. So yeah, thank you very much, Steve. That's a great
Thank
question.
Exactly. I think you said it correctly. It's a lot, and I understand why so many people don't want to talk about it. But what if it does happen to you? Like, what do you do? We're living in a world where everything is like every day you wake up, you shouldn't be surprised what's gonna happen because things are happening. So that's why it's very important for us to talk about it. It's happening before you say, "Yeah, I'm from Africa. We don't do that now." No, it's in our community. It's like, and with that, what you said about, I really, it's kind of sad. I don't want to say this, but I really don't like to call um someone who was born as a man who transitioned to a woman. I really try not to say that's a woman or something. I just don't say anything about who their gender are. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to them. It's just I don't believe they are, in my opinion. I wouldn't disrespect them. I wouldn't call them a man or a woman. I just won't say nothing. But, and I think this is where this world is going, where doctors are figuring a way, again, some people are born, with, you know, their body makeup or stuff may be almost like woman setup. But I think the implant is also depending on like what type of bones you have over there and stuff. I mean, it's just a whole lot of stuff that goes on. And I think if the kids are prepared from home and stepping into the world, it doesn't seem so strange and interesting to want to try. You know, it's kind of like when you go to McDonald's and they bring a new menu out, and then everybody's trying it, and you don't know nothing about it, and they're like, "Trying is new." I hate that I'm using that analogy, but it's kind of like that.
Yep.
So if you're
So
not preparing your kids and they go out there and they see it, and mom and dad hasn't really encouraged them or tell them anything about what it is, then they try to figure it out. And then if they try to like it, that's who they are. So I know it's not as simple as I'm saying it, but it's very important for us to talk about these things. And I'm one of those people, I like to talk about uncomfortable stuff, things that people don't want to talk about, because I think most likely that's what's happening. So I'm glad that you guys were able to join us for us to discuss this. Um, it's very, very important for us to talk about it. So thank you so much to everybody commenting. Thank you, River Pro, for always giving a question that lead us to more, for us to find more in depth, to talk about. And thank you to Anna, Jimmy. Thank you so much. I know you had to leave, and thank you to Leroy for the comment and making us laugh, and just being here. And thank you to the rest of the viewers, where I learned a lot too today, and I hope there's more for us to learn. Even if the show's not running, you guys can still leave comments and give us some advice. And thank you to Salome for showing up and showing out as always. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much and have a blessed week. All right, it's time for us to go. Thank you, River Bro. All right, guys. Bye bye. I gotta go deal with my kiddos.